high above the desert sands, a machine just tore through the sky at a speed so ferocious, so unbelievable, it left even the sharpest minds in total shock. Faster than the legends we thought could never be beaten. Faster than the SR-72, the so-called son of Blackbird. What if the future we imagined aircraft that move faster than a missile's warning system isn't science fiction anymore? What if it's happening right now while most people have no clue? Strap in, because the story you're about to hear changes everything we thought we knew about speed, power, and the future of warfare. For years, the SR-72 has existed somewhere between rumor and myth. A ghost born from Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, the same minds that gave us the unbeatable SR-71 Blackbird. While the Blackbird could already outrun enemy missiles at Mach 3.3, the SR-72 was promised to double that, reaching a mind-bending Mach 6. That's around 4,600 miles per hour, enough to cross continents faster than you could finish a movie. It was supposed to be the future of surveillance and strike aircraft that no enemy could catch, no radar could lock onto. Designs were teased, whispers floated out from inside defense circles, and while we never saw it in action, the idea that the US had a platform that could literally leave everything else in the dust kept rivals up at night. The SR-72 wasn't just a plane, it was a symbol, a benchmark, the gold standard for what hypersonic aviation could be. But now, in 2025, something even faster has emerged, and it's very, very real. During a classified hypersonic test at a remote facility in the American Southwest, a new prototype reportedly flew faster than Mach 6, maybe even touching Mach 7 according to some insider reports. The specifics are still buried under layers of secrecy, but what's been leaked is enough to stun even the most hardened aerospace veterans. Sustained hypersonic flight at speeds no operational craft has ever reached, plus agility that allows it to maneuver in ways that were once thought impossible for something moving that fast. And this isn't some single-use missile, it's a reusable aircraft, one designed to launch, fly missions, return, and do it all again. It's not a science project. It's the future of military aviation lifting right off the ground and leaving the old records in the dust. So how does something move that fast without melting into a puddle of metal? The answer is a breakthrough in propulsion technology called a turbine-based combined cycle engine, TBCC, the holy grail of hypersonic dreams. It's a hybrid beast. At lower speeds, it uses a turbojet to get moving like any jet you've seen before. But once it pushes past Mach 3, it seamlessly switches to a scramjet system, gulping down hypersonic airflow and converting it into raw, brutal speed. It's like a car that starts as a Ferrari but turns into a rocket ship halfway down the track, without ever slowing down. Combine that with next-gen composite materials, carbon-carbon weave structures, titanium alloys that can handle temperatures hotter than molten lava, and you've got something that not only flies at hypersonic speeds but survives there. This isn't just fast, it's smart. It's engineered to laugh at the very laws of physics we thought were limits. And when the news started trickling out to the defense and science communities, the reactions were pure, unfiltered awe. Dr. Emily Hart, a propulsion engineer with 2 decades at NASA, reportedly called it the single most important step forward in aviation since the jet engine. Military analysts who have spent their careers modeling global power balances are rerunning all their simulations, realizing that old assumptions about warning times, about reaction speeds, about the very geometry of warfare have been shattered. Some are cautiously optimistic, others are flat out terrified, because a vehicle that can move this fast isn't just an asset. It's a weapon of time itself, able to make decisions, strikes, and escapes faster than humans can even comprehend. Think about this for a second. A plane that can travel halfway around the world in under 2 hours, strike a target with pinpoint accuracy, and vanish before radar operators even understand what hit them. Traditional air defenses? Dead. Old missile shields? Useless. Even advanced satellite tracking would struggle to keep up with something moving faster than a speeding bullet across the upper atmosphere. This isn't just a fancy new toy, it's a weapon that rewrites the entire playbook of modern warfare. In a world where speed equals survival, whoever controls hypersonic technology controls the future. That's why the Pentagon has dumped billions into hypersonic research. That's why Russia and China are racing desperately to catch up. And that's why this latest test, pushing speeds beyond Mach 6 with an operational aircraft, has sent shockwaves not just through defense communities, but through every government on Earth paying attention. And here's where it gets even crazier. This tech won't stay locked up behind military walls forever. Companies like Hermes and Boom Supersonic are already dreaming up hypersonic airliners that could shrink the globe in ways never seen before. Imagine leaving New York and touching down in Tokyo 90 minutes later, still sipping your morning coffee. Business trips that take a lunch break instead of a full day. Family vacations across oceans that feel like a quick drive across town. The barrier of distance that shapes so much of human history. Hypersonic flight threatens to tear it down completely. And when that happens, when hypersonic tech bleeds into the civilian world, everything from global trade to culture itself will change faster than anyone's ready for. But before we all book our Mach 6 vacations, there are some massive hurdles still standing in the way. Flying at hypersonic speeds means fighting a universe of problems. Air friction that turns steel into vapor. Guidance systems that have to predict movement seconds ahead because corrections take too long. And even basic communication systems that short out when plasma sheaths form around the craft at high speeds. And then there's the bigger, scarier question. If you have weapons platforms that can strike anywhere on Earth almost instantly, how do you keep global tensions from spiraling out of control? Hypersonic vehicles aren't just about speed, they're about shrinking the decision-making time of world leaders to minutes or even seconds. And that's a terrifying thought, because mistakes at Mach 6 don't get second chances. What happens next is a real one, faster and more desperate than any in recent history. The Pentagon is already ramping up funding, not just for new prototypes, but for full operational squadrons of hypersonic aircraft. DARPA is doubling down on high-risk, high-reward hypersonic projects, trying to solve problems like plasma-resistant sensors and hypersonic drone swarms. Meanwhile, rivals like China and Russia are scrambling to respond, pouring billions into their own programs to match or counter what's coming. And over the Pacific and deserts of the American Southwest, don't be surprised if you start hearing strange booms late at night. Those aren't UFOs. Those are the sounds of humanity pushing against the edge of what's possible, one blistering test flight at a time. If everything stays on track, by the early 2030s, hypersonic aircraft could be a regular, terrifying feature of global military strategy and maybe civilian life too. If you want to keep riding this wave of breakthroughs with us, from secret test flights to the dawn of hypersonic passenger planes, make sure you smash that like button, share this with your friends, and hit subscribe. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you don't miss a second of the future racing toward us. Trust me, the next story is going to be even wilder.